welcome to this special show. I'm Navanita Kalita, and what apparently happens to be is that April 22 figured out to be the blackest day for the nation as the Baisaran Meadow at Pahalgam in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir, otherwise dubbed as the mini Switzerland, soaked in the blood of 26 innocent civilians, including one foreign national. We're mostly tourists in the wake of the dastardly Pahalgam terror attack, amid national outrage and resentment which poured against the act of terror in Jammu and Kashmir. The Cabinet Committee on Security, which is the nation's highest decision-making body on national security, took some strict and stringent measures against Pakistan over cross-border terrorism and proxy war, which have surfaced in the probe into the terror attack. So in a major move, what happened is that India from its end has decided to suspend the decades-old Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan indefinitely. Furthermore, we are all aware that the Atari border checkpost has been closed with Pakistanis in India under the SARC visa exemption scheme. And what we have currently seen is that India has also closed its airspace to Pakistan. Now, in wake of all these things, when there is a high vigil at the LOC, we have seen that counter-attacks have been taking in cross-border firing has also been taking place. So, to discuss India's move, basically, and to give an insight into the latest developments in the special show, we are joined by MJ Augustine Vinod, and to talk about Mr. Vinod, he is from Miami in United States. We are joined by him. Welcome to the show, sir. And Mr. Augustine Vinod is a defense expert, a retired Indian Air Force group captain who served extensively in the Northeast sector and flew the MiG-21 and Mirage 2000 combat aircrafts. And he's an expert on drone system. So we're very happy to have you on this show, sir. And since the show deals with the country, the sentiment of the country that we are having currently. My first question to you, sir, will be, what is your first thoughts on the terror attack that took place on that particular black day of 22nd April?
Yeah, I was really shocked for a simple reason. It happened deep inside India. Pahalgam, if you look at the map, and I would request if during the show or later you can put up the map, it's minimum 100 kilometers from the closest LAC, which means these people have had time to come inside India via, borders which cannot be guarded, like high altitude area. And they have had the local support, which of course later on we came to know they did. And more importantly, the planning and execution started, or the execution was set in motion much before General Asim Munir came on the podium and he talked about, if you remember, Kashmir is our jugular vein, and Hindus are different from Muslims and stuff like that. If you remember,
Absolutely.
he came and gave a speech. So, plan was already in motion. So these are few things. When he came and spoke, in fact, in one of the channels, I said so in so many words that something is cooking, something is fishy, something is going to happen. And I said that one day before this attack happened, and the attack happened. Well, I'm not saying I'm some kind of a soothsayer, because nobody can predict where it will happen, but one could make out the way he spoke. He spoke few code words that probably was for an intended audience who utilized this code word and put the plan in motion. That is first thing that shocked me, and second thing was that really didn't shock me, but shook me in terms of being illogical. Is people of Pahalgam. I mean, I've been to Pahalgam many times during insurgency. People before the insurgency started, people were well off, but during insurgency they didn't even have sometimes in winters food to eat, because winters the supply from the plains gets cut off. On that time only Ramban, sometimes Ramban used to close, sometimes the Jawahar tunnel used to close. So they were in hardships. Army used to help them sometimes, but sometimes even army couldn't help them. After the abrogation of 370, things were looking up. In fact, the residents of Pahalgam had their monthly earnings going up as much as 4 to 10 times in some families. So why would they axe their own foot by supporting these elements is something which I'm not able to get to grips.
Absolutely.
OTA.
See, Mr. Vinod, what we have seen is like Pakistan has time and again denied its involvement or its role in various terrorist attacks in India. Especially in this case, also what we saw is that Pakistan has denied its role in the Pahalgam attack. But whereas, if I am right, Hasim Musa, of course, he has been identified as a Pakistan Army's ex-para commando of Special Service Group. So in this way, is it quite clear that there is a clear involvement of Hasim Musa in it? Of course, the hideout of various militants, various terrorists have been found in Pakistan itself.
Yeah. Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. So, see, this level of planning and this level of accurate execution cannot be done by just a simple terrorist, because these terrorists are, who are these? I mean, 99% of them are those people who are not educated and who have been brainwashed from their childhood. Those are the ones who are picked up, given some kind of arms training, and pushed into India. These people they do not have the requisite gray matter, so to say, to plan an attack. So they are like the puppets on strings. Somebody has to pull the string.
Absolutely.
So the kind of attack, the kind of coordination, the kind of intelligence, all this was possible only if they had someone who's coordinating this attack or orchestrating this attack, and that had to be a trained personnel, army personnel. That was my doubt. I said so again the moment attack happened in one of the channels, and it came out to be true. And he's an SSG commando, not an ex-SSG commando, as somebody
Okay.
reported.
Okay.
He was a serving SSG commando. So, and in today's age, you cannot fool anyone, because you leave your digital footprint somewhere or the other.
Absolutely.
So that is how we found out that
It
he
is
is the one.
absolutely quite clear now, even if Pakistan has been denying it time and again, but it is quite clear that, Pak Army and ISI's involvement has been highly in the terror attacks against India time and again.
True. Other than, it is a stated policy of Pakistan. Not now. Long ago, they talked about 1,000 cuts, and the terrorist element like Jamaatul Dawa or Jaish-e-Mohammed being the front line of attack, and the second layer being their fielded military forces. That is something which is an acknowledged fact, and it is enshrined in their war doctrine. So in their war doctrine, the first line of attack is by what they call the militia. There are these JEM, and Jamaatul Dawa, and a whole lot of LET and a whole lot of other organizations.
Okay, now what we have seen is Pakistan's General Amir, of course, he is itching for a fight. It seems like he wants a war. But if we take it under Pakistan, Pak Army side, there has been unconfirmed reports of many Pak Army soldiers resigning and several others going on unauthorized leave. So does it mean that the army, the Pakistan Army or the Jawans of the army, they are not willing to fight, they're taking a back foot here, but the general himself is itching for a fight?
Actually, general is reaching his end of his term. So if you remember what Musharraf did to Nawaz Sharif, the Asim Munir is doing to his brother Shahbaz Sharif. How does a general extend his tenure? By creating some skirmish or by creating a situation in which changing the topmost general would mean catastrophic failure in the army. That kind of narrative or situation, if you create, then the general gets an extension. This is not the first time I mean, this playbook is being used time and time again. So this is not the first time this playbook is being used. And every single general who's come on sitting on the chair did something to get his tenure extended. One. Two, people going on leave and or resigning is something which we have seen even during the BLA attack in
Right.
Balochistan area. See, in Pakistan Army, there are huge have-nots and very few haves. So haves are the senior officers, not junior officers. Senior officers are the haves. Junior officers and the enlisted men they call Jawan or something are the have-nots. Have-nots are have-nots of pay, perks, uniform, shoes, winter clothing, food. And we interviewed few of them during Kargil, during the Oprakram. They are they are really poor lot. So giving their life for a cause which they themselves are confused, and therefore they wanting to save their lives is absolutely in line with the system of natural justice. So if they are wanting to leave, I think
Mr. Vinod,
the international body,
I just like to ask
yeah,
you something here. Is like, what should be the stand of India currently, apart from the decisions that has been taken after the first CCS meeting and what we have seen in the second CCS meeting, also or CCP and CCA meeting. But still, what should be the stand that India should take right now against Pakistan, apart from all those diplomatic decisions that have been taken off, or in the defense sector that we have seen that a free hand has been given off. PM Modi has given military full operational freedom. Still, people are expecting something of movement in the border, because after Pakistan has denied the Shimla agreement, of course the LOC is quite open now. There's no line of control as of.
absolutely good question. See, knee-jerk reaction is something India never does. We don't do knee-jerk reaction. We only take informed decision, firstly. Secondly, I mean, example of that is within maybe 1 or 2 days, Pakistan closed its airspace for Indian aeroplanes, including the Indian civilian aeroplanes. We did not do that. We did not immediately reciprocate. We took our time. We weighed pros and cons, and I think, yesterday closed the airspace
Yes.
for Pakistani flights. And so it is like a double whammy for them. Every flight that goes over Pakistan, we pay $580, $600. So, and we're not even landing in Pakistan. We're just overflying and crossing from one point to another. And within few minutes, or maybe less than 15 minutes, the aeroplane is out of Pakistani airspace. And for entering and exiting an airspace at 40,000 feet, we pay them $600. That is gone because they axe their own foot. Now we've closed the airspace after taking informed decision, and that is really hurting them, because Indian peninsula is like a dagger into Indian Ocean. They do not have anywhere else to go except going south, then turning to the left and continuing further. So they have axed their own foot over there. Your question about what action will we take or we should be taking is something that India will do after considering lots of pros and cons, but my reading is that going all out war is something India will avoid for two reasons. A, prior to 47, it was part of India. So we have a certain amount of responsibility towards that nation and people of that nation. So an all-out war will completely, crumble that nation, which will not affect these haves, like I said, because their families have already fled to London and wherever. The
Absolutely.
have-nots, the people will suffer. So, being a just nation and being a bigger nation in terms of size and economy, I don't think we will go for an all-out war. Being a responsible nation, I don't think we'll go for an all-out war. Will it be like a Balakot or will it be like a surgical strike? No. It will be much worse than that. Our aim will be and should be to take the POK because, see, POK serves two purposes. A, it is the thorn in our relationship, has been since 1948.
Okay.
B, it is something which is the reason why Pakistani army exists. If you remove that reason, Pakistani army's existence is A, in question, and B, not required. Therefore, once we take POK, Pakistan army or Pakistan polity will be forced to downsize Pakistani army and Pakistan can prosper thereafter. So
Okay.
that should be, I think, and will be our target.
So as you have said that India should actually be taking back the Pakistan occupied Kashmir with the current opportunity that we have in our hands. But has it become easier, Mr. Vinod, for Pakistan to actually export terrorism to India since the people in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, they look it and wear everything that's similar with the people of Kashmir?
Great question. In fact, the recent development in actually it is not Pakistan occupied Kashmir, it is Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir.
Jammu and Kashmir.
The part of Jammu, the part of the Pakistan occupied Jammu portion is larger than the Pakistan occupied Kashmir portion. Anyway, we loosely say it as POK. Let's call it as POK.
Okay.
Now, the people of POJK or POK are fed up with the Punjabi-driven army and Punjabi-driven government because nobody is giving them food, medicine. In winters, they don't get water because everything freezes up. And on the other side, and there is no communication. Mobile towers are not there. Children are not getting education because there are no teachers. So stuff like that is irking them, and they see their brethren on the other side who were divided in 1947 are getting much better perks. They are able to come down to the plains of India. Some of them are becoming IAS officers and stuff like that. So they see post abrogation of 370 or post independence, one of the brothers is really prospering, the other brother is not. So they are also eager to join the local population. Many interviews are there where the local population are saying the Pakistani government is doing nothing for us. We want to merge back with our older brethren and become part of India. So they will be welcomed, is my understanding, once we take them over.
Okay, so recently we have seen the induction of 26 new Rafale M aircraft jets for the Indian Navy. Now, what my question to you would be like, the induction of this Rafale M aircraft, well, of course, it will take some time. But currently, if we see from a strategic point of from, even if there is a war, from that point of view, France's Dassault, we have seen that they have been very reluctant to share the source code of its Rafale fighter jets with India. So do you think, Mr. Vinod, that this will pose a strategic and defensive disadvantage for us, since you have flown Mirage 2000 and, since it has been taken in 1980, still we do not have the source code for that?
Again, a great question. See, when we bought Mirage 2000, it was the first digital Delta. We had little to no clue as to what kind of, we call it the digibus,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of digibus exists in Mirage 2000. But let me tell you, um, we have long ago cracked the digibus of Mirage 2000, and now we have integrated Russian weapons, Russian missiles onto a French aeroplane, and probably the first and the only one in the world to do it. A. B. Rafale, therefore, when we went for the Rafale deal, we said we have to have a standard digibus. The digital bus has to be standard. So the Rafale digibus is not the original Mirage digibus, which was an encrypted digibus.
Okay.
Rafale digibus is MIL 1553 standard. So MIL 1553 standards digibus are standard all over the world. So Rafale is not a problem. A. B. Rafale is already there in India with Indian Air Force. So we have two squadrons, and we have weapons which are, neighbors envy, owners pride. To give you an example, we have a missile which is 200 kilometers range, which is the AM-120, which the F-16 has, is 120 kilometers only. So we have an advantage of 80 kilometers of range over a Pakistani aeroplane. So if you draw a 200-kilometer line from Srinagar, Udhampur, Pathankot, or down, the Jaisalmer or wherever, you will notice about 90% of Pakistan is covered. Only a few portion which is very close to Iran is not covered, which means none of the aeroplanes can take off, and if they do, we can shoot. We have the capability to shoot them down over their own runway. That is one. Second, we have a bomb called Scalp NG.
Okay.
Scalp NG has a range of 300 to 600 kilometers. So the entire Pakistan is under our umbrella. And to do all this, the Rafale doesn't even have to cross the border. Now, translate that to Rafale M, the maritime Rafale.
Right.
Weapons, we have it. The weapon storage facility, we have it. Now, operating out of Vikramaditya or Virat, the entire southern coast of Pakistan and its shipping lanes and its commercial shipping, everything is, under our umbrella. And whenever we want, we can take them out. They know it. Their Air Force knows it very well. So, which is why now in the morning I heard the rhetoric of peace talks and stuff like that has started. So my request to them will be, don't shed too much blood. Just simply hand over POK and live happily ever after.
Okay. So, since you have served extensively in the Northeast sector, so this area has always been vulnerable, even in the geographical forefront also. Now, currently, a few days back, a top Bangladeshi official, Major General retired Fazlur Rahman, stated that if, in any case, if Pakistan actually attacks India attacks Pakistan, then Bangladesh should occupy Northeast India. That is what Mr. Fazlur Rahman had stated. In any case, if India attacks Pakistan, Bangladesh should take the opportunity of occupying Northeast India. See, 1971, of course, we fought with them, but that was a different thing, a thumping victory. We did secure at that point of time. But with time, everything has changed. The whole scenario has changed. What would you say? What would be your thoughts on Mr. Fazlur Rahman's opinion?
Fazlur Rahman is dreaming.
Yes.
What is wrong with him? Anyway, it is not easy to take Northeast India. We can attack him from 4 directions. He will not know where the attack is coming from. We can take the entire northern part of Bangladesh in no time. They know it. It's just, he's talking out of his hat. He has no clue. Secondly, like you said, I served extensively in Northeast in all the parts. So I know what I'm saying. I mean, not to reveal tactically, but I know what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. So, anyways, if since Pakistan and Bangladesh, India fighting on both fronts, it must have been so that Fazlur Rahman must have thought that India cannot fight on both fronts, and since they have the backing of China also, so they must have been thinking that we have full power now over India, being surrounded by countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and China from a strategic point of view.
Yeah, and see, um, Chinese have a very great disadvantage because they are at a very high altitude, airfield and area. So Chinese know it very well. So that is why, and they are very responsible nation in Pakistan. You will never hear China, talking nonsense like these people do, because they know their limitation. And secondly, we have great deal of trade with China. So you can't, divorce two important information. That we have a gripe with China in terms of Arunachal Pradesh, but we are doing trade with them extensively. So these two cannot be divorced from each other. Therefore, we need, if I read China right, and if I read Modi ji right, over a period of time, I think we will settle this dispute with China.
Mr. Vinod, see, now India has Mk2A laser directed energy weapon. So, all these modern weapons developed by DRDO and other factors, how game changing will it be for India's defense capabilities? India, of course, is quite apt and has quite being there in the defense sector since the three wings are also equipped. So, this modern weapons, especially the Mk2A laser directed energy weapon, how is it going to change the scenario?
Not much. I will tell you why. Because the directed energy weapon, especially the laser weapon or an electronic beam weapon, it has a tremendous advantage because it attacks the enemy at the speed of light. So anything that is coming in even at very high speeds can be taken out. It can switch fire between drones or aeroplanes that is coming in numbers, say 20, 50 of them are coming. We can switch fire very easily. But it has limitation in terms of weather.
Okay.
So if there is fog, if there is clouds, it is not effective.
It is not
effective.
effective.
So when you do some kind of a planning, you don't plan a weapon which has a conditional applicability. You got the point?
Absolutely.
You can't have a conditionally applicable weapon being the forefront of planning parameter. It will be a weapon which will be used, but it will not form a major chunk in your planning.
Okay.
So towards that end, yeah, it is a little handicapped.
It is a little handicapped, as mentioned by you. The last question to you from me would be, see, Pakistan has been violating ceasefire, of course, since they have said that the Shimla agreement does not exist. So, for the past few days, we have been saying, every day Pakistan does that. And does it feel to you, does it come to you in some sort that, Pakistan is trying to hide something? Is there something that is there something else which lies beneath? Are they deliberately doing this to divert India's attention? Does this thought come to your mind?
See, the issue with Pakistan is threefold. First and foremost, there has been, if you notice during the Imran Khan's, when they put him in jail,
right,
the entire population rose against the army. So currently, the impression of Pakistani army within the Pakistani public is not very good. If you ask any Pakistani public, he doesn't have good things to say about the army, but they may not even say it openly, because if they do, they get picked up and they'll never see the light of the day.
There is fear of life.
More fear of life for them and the family. So that is something the army wants to change. How do you change that? You change that by creating a pseudo enemy or a pseudo situation where the enemy is wanting to attack you, and we are your, a knight in shining armor came to rescue you and your children and your future, and we, gave our lives for you. Who gave their lives for them? Well, them is again a big question, because, like I said previously, the first line of defense in terms of Pakistan is these terrorist organizations. That is the first point. And second point is the existence of army itself, right from 1947, is on the matters of Kashmir. So if that matter goes away, their existence goes away, that they'll never let it go till their last breath. And third and most important is when such rhetoric happens, they have the capability, or they have the reason to go to their friends to ask for more money. So when the money dries up is when I have seen they start all this, so that they can go to their friends and say, see, we are being oppressed, we are being attacked, give us more money. So these are three reasons why, it could be a combined three reasons or individually three reasons, is why when they start all this, that I have seen in historically. So this time it is all the three reasons.
Okay, so what would be your opinion? What should be India's stand now?
I think we would remove this thorn of POJK or POK. I think we should completely remove it. And that is the only way we'll be able to, I don't know, give them peace and have peace for us as well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Augustine, for joining us in this show. And absolutely, the rhetoric being used, a knight in shining armor, was something I was about to laugh at. Pakistan being taking the credibility of everything. Thank you so much for joining us in this show. And I believe definitely after watching this interview, India will will think a lot about POK being taken back and give a smile to the people residing there, more than what they think is just a pseudo thing lying in their lives. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
We come to the end of this show, and that was Mr. Augustine who joined us in this show, and he did put great insights into what should be India's stand currently with the position of Pakistan being looming over. Is there a war coming, or what should India do in today's time? Thank you.